Farmers are worried that the agricultural sector will feel the pinch of the higher tariffs. The tariff decision is expected to have a negative impact on various South African exports, including vehicles, precious metals, machinery, and citrus fruit.
Citrus is going to be the highest hit by this 30% tariff if it is going to continue. So that's also something we need to say. But if you go deeper into it, I think for me, we took a deeper dive into it to understand what the impact for certain industries would be. So any revenue cut would be an impact. For citrus, they only export in total, say, 5% of their total produce. But a big hitter is macadamia nuts. So 22% of macadamia nuts is exported to America. So a massive impact towards that. What we also did was we took it to the provinces and to have a look and where do we produce and where will the provinces be, well, where would the negative effect be in the provinces? And I think the hot hit provinces is the Western Cape and Limpopo. So for me, the first one was to understand the possible impact of 30% on agriculture and will we survive this and how are we going to survive this?
ABSA Investments strategist Lindile Malgas reiterates that higher tariffs are negative from a consumption point of view and will make South African products less competitive and may lead to lower demand for them.
From a local point of view, we will see some of the producers scaling back on the production, and that has an even bigger effect. If you think about it, it may affect the employment levels as well. And if you're thinking about the automotive sector and comparing that to some of the other key industries, we do think that might face the biggest impact. So if you're looking at things such as the food and wine exporters, they may be able to redirect some of those goods way quicker than what you'll see with some of the automotive makers. And as a result, we do think that there will be severe impacts for the automotive industry across the board. But what is quite particularly positive from a steel and aluminium point of view is that those tariffs that have been imposed, and that being blanket tariffs, that may also level the playing field from a South Africa point of view and make it more competitive compared to some of the steel producers as well.
Professor Chris Asike from the University of Pretoria says it is time to stop analyzing the actions of the US and start focusing on the way forward.
We should start focusing on alternatives, the things that South Africa can do to increase its own value proposition, diversify its trade, and especially looking at AFTA. That will actually mitigate a lot of the effects that will come from South Africa's suspension from or removal from AGOA, which is very imminent, and other difficulties that have come out of this. But for me, that's what we should really be talking about. Now that the US has shown its hand in this regard, South Africa should be tough in using those critical minerals position, the absolute advantage that it has. The US absolutely needs those minerals, and so South Africa should be able to use them as leverage to negotiate what it wants. And if it doesn't get its way, it should then reciprocate in terms of also tariffing those. And I have said, and I'm going to say it again, that all these missions we keep sending to Washington, D.C. are fruitless. They're not going to be helpful because President Trump and Marco Rubio have made up their mind about South Africa.
The rand weakened past the 19 rand mark to the dollar for the first time since January. Precious metals and mining were the biggest drag by index points. Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.